Hello.
It's my birthday.
She is 33.
I'm 33. I didn't know what to do today because we've been sick.
Still sick.
We've been sick.
Are you gonna remind me?
To prove the point, we're gonna start coughing right now. Of course, we haven't. No. But I couldn't decide what to do for the Friday bean today. Because I don't have a whole lot of brain energy, and it's my birthday, and there have only been, I think, 2 other Friday beans that have fallen on my birthday, but we always do something funny. A couple years ago, remember, we did Q&A, just an open Q&A, but you did my makeup.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's the only one I remember. I know that we've done more than that. So I thought that it would be fun to go through and look at some of my Etsy purchases over the years. My first Etsy purchase, my cheapest Etsy purchase, my most expensive Etsy purchase, because I've been shopping on Etsy since I was a teenager. So I've got a lot of Etsy purchase history. Now, I'm not just going to share my screen and show you everything I bought on Etsy because
we can't.
We can't. Let's face it. There's some adult things in there. There's some gifts that I don't want to show. But I tried to think of like weird and wonky prompts.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really wanted to do was kind of take a moment to show you some of the things that have caught my eye in search. Things that were really, really cool, things that I liked. And, you know, if it brings some exposure to some of these shops, then awesome. And then at the last minute with like, I think we had like 5 minutes before the stream, we threw a bunch of marks on here as well. So, his were done in a haste and there's not quite as many, but
I think we only have 4 of mine.
Yeah, but that's okay. And then afterwards, you know what? If you guys want to ask us questions or whatever, like we'll be here.
We'll go for a few minutes, but she's got to record a video, so I'm cutting her off early today.
Yeah. And the video that we're going to do on Tuesday, I thought how fitting because I was super sick. I script my videos on Wednesday, and on Wednesday I was very sick. I had a fever. I was stuck on the couch. I was working on from my tablet, and I thought, what a great topic. How to run your business when you're deathly sick, because I know that a lot of schools right now are actually out because so many kids are sick and so many teachers are sick that they can't even the kids can't even go to school.
Her school from when she was a kid actually just got off for like a week because literally all of the bus drivers were sick and they couldn't get the kids to school anymore.
Yeah. And our daughter, she had a choir concert and like most of the kids were out.
30% of the kids weren't able to attend.
Yeah, we've got her social studies teacher my daughter hasn't even like seen her social studies teacher.
She's been out more this quarter than she has been in.
Yeah. So running your business while sick. I thought that was a really good topic. Obviously, my number one piece of advice for that is prioritize your health. That's why I've been working from the couch. Like figure out what your have-to-dos are and creating an action plan to follow. That way, you know, when you're feeling good, you create your action plan that you can execute on the days when you're sick. That way you already have a plan in place. So that's what we're going to talk about on Tuesday. But I do have to kind of conserve my voice because I don't have a lot of it. That's why I didn't do Q&A yesterday over on the E-Rank channel. Brian stepped in. So, yeah, anyway. Okay, let me go ahead and we'll jump right into this.
Let's do it. Jump right in.
Guys, I threw this together. Like, you'll have to excuse me. This one is not as beautiful and well thought out as some of my other ones, but it should be fun. So let's go ahead and get started. This is such a weird stream topic. Oh, and I did want to say thank you to whoever donated $50 for our charity. I appreciate you so much, guys. As always, on my birthday, my one request for everybody is, you know, whatever, even just whatever the minimum donation amount is. I think that you could, like, a minimum of $5 is what they require or something. But down below the chat, we have our charity for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. If everybody who is here donated $5, what's 197 times 5?
Be about $1,000.
Yeah, so let's see if we can get those numbers up. Obviously, not everybody can donate, but if you can, that would be absolutely awesome. Please consider donating. That is what I want for my birthday, is for lots of donations. That money goes directly to them. We don't see a penny of it, so please consider doing that. But let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing, this is the last thing that I bought on Etsy. So my most recent Etsy purchase, it is the coolest little thing. I haven't gotten to use it yet, so I can't vouch for how well it works, but it looks like it's going to work really well. It's something I've never seen before. This is one that dog moms, you guys should like take note of these shops. Get a pen and paper out because you're going to want this. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate you so much. Check this out. This is called a knobby nail file, and it's a dog nail file, but it's round, so you can like twirl it over their nail to file their nail down after you trim their toenails. I thought that this was just the coolest thing because like after you trim your dog's nails, they're sharp. And it's better than an emery board.
That sounds so inappropriate.
What?
A knobby rounder?
A knobby rounder.
It's like something you get in a club in UK.
I wish I could scroll through the photos.
Get me a knobby rounder.
A knobby rounder. Oh, no.
What? I'm sorry.
But I thought that this was the coolest invention. I've never seen anything like it. This is like their original little invention. And it I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. So for those of you who have doggies, this might be a cool one to check out. Like I said, I haven't used it yet, but they included like a little toothbrush that you can use to, clean off the like sandpapery side. I thought it was really neat. All right, so that's the last thing I bought. I think I bought that last week. Yeah, so that's my most recent purchase. Now let's look at my I paid way too much purchase. This is the most expensive thing that I've ever bought on Etsy. This was about a year ago, I believe. I debated this purchase for several years. I had favorited this item, and finally I broke down and bought it because Mark and I go to a lot of raves and festivals and things. And like everybody has a thing at festivals. Like everybody has their thing. Mark does all the poi, the light up things that he twirls. He does like crazy tricks and stuff, and that's his thing. But I wanted a thing. So I bought this super cool headdress. It was closer with shipping. It was closer to $500 when I purchased it. I can't remember exactly where it ships from, but it definitely ships from outside of the US. So I bought this really cool headdress. And it's funny, of course, when I brought it home, my daughter's like, that's a furry head. And I'm like, no, it's not a furry head. But I also have this picture from where I wore it to Lost Lands, and I loved it. I put little gold, if you look at the ears, I accented it with like little gold earrings. I was trying to go for more of like an Anubis kind of thing.
Thank you for all the donations, everybody.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. So yeah, this seller, I'm really impressed with their work. Again, not even like crazy product photography, but just a cool concept. You'll notice that with almost everything that I buy on Etsy, it's like not the same old, same old. I buy really unusual things, things that I can't find anywhere else, which, that really highlights what Etsy's all about. It's Sugar with her Kong upstairs.
Yeah.
It's hitting the ground. But yeah, and Mark was doing like a Rave Jedi cosplay. Sith. Oh, yeah.
I had my whole Viking aesthetic on with my red lightsaber.
All right. This was worth every penny purchase. I think I know what this is. I think it's that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this light, it's currently across the room right now. Sometimes you see it in like pictures. If you see my desk set up, I have this light over my desk. The version that you're seeing here is the light blue. I have a dark blue version with a red sun. And I got this because my entire wall is decorated in fan art from like A Court of Thorns and Roses and from Blood and Ash. and the for those who have read A Court of Thorns and Roses, you know why the geometric mountain is significant. So that's what I have, you know, kind of in the center, and then I have all the fan art and stuff kind of framing that that mountain. So I absolutely love this thing. And I mean, the price wasn't too bad. It took forever to arrive. It's not real neon. It's like a plastic material.
It's a light diffusing plastic with LEDs underneath, though it is insanely bright and you cannot tell that they are individual LEDs.
Yeah, and
it looks like neon.
It's adjustable too. You can adjust how bright it is. Like right now it's on the lowest. But yeah, it was a really cool purchase. I really liked this shop. Okay, a purchase that helped me through a hard time. I threw this one in here just because I really wanted to highlight the seller. He still sells, and this is one that, again, I wanted to share his work just because the customer service was phenomenal. So when my Chihuahua passed away, I was looking for a good way to, you know, something for her ashes. I didn't know if I wanted like an urn or something. But I found this guy who does these really cool blown glass. They look like flames. And he actually requested like a picture of my dog so that, you know, he knows, he wants to like have that connection when he's like creating your product. And he wants to know like, who is the pet that I'm making this for when you send your ashes in. And then, you know, if there's any extra ashes, they send those back to you along with the completed piece. I ended up getting one that was the color of her fur, so it was tan and white. And it's just absolutely beautiful. So just a really cool, like genuinely handmade seller. Doesn't have, you know, if I were to like do a shop critique on this store, it would
get your URL out of the title, like this person said. Yeah, for sure. We agree.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where clearly it's not somebody who, you know, they don't know a lot about Etsy itself, but he's just a genuinely good person creating a really cool product, and he has a very successful shop because of it. So definitely something cool. Okay, let's see. A purchase I was unsure of at first. I can't even remember what this was. Oh man, now I'm trying to remember what I put here. A purchase I was unsure of at first. I was so sick when I did this. Oh, Mr. Moore, do you remember these?
Mm-hmm.
You wanna talk about these?
Mm-mm.
No? I'm trying to take a break for a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're chocolate truffles. I don't know what else.
So I ordered these. That's fine. I'll take over.
Yeah, you go ahead and take over. I don't know anything about your purchase or anything going on with this.
Yeah, you ate them. These were some really cool truffles that I got. And I was not sure how to feel about them. I only bought them because they were pretty. But they look like geodes on top.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up getting blue ones, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like blue and teal. And they were lemon.
Yeah, they were really pretty.
Yeah, but they were so good. They were very expensive. I think the ones that I bought were like $48 in total after I had, you know, selected everything.
They're really cool for the price that you pay for them, though.
Yeah, they were really, really neat. It was, was it for our anniversary or your birthday or something?
I can't remember.
It was something like that.
ADHD did that. That stuff kind of all just blends together to me.
Yeah, we always try to get some type of like little treat for our celebratory events. So I got these and they ended up being really, really good. So this is a really fun one that I recommend. I was going to say, just take him up if he's being naughty.
Well, he's not being naughty, but the cable's hanging that will ruin the stream if he unplugs them.
Okay. But yeah, it was really good. It was like a rock candy outside, and then the inside was just, I picked lemon truffle, because Mark and I love lemon. And
yeah, I love lemon.
They were super duper good. Let's see. Ooh, a vintage purchase that I love. I am so proud of this purchase. Now, unfortunately, because it's vintage, the listing isn't there anymore. So I had to get on mobile and take a screenshot to get a good blown up picture of it. Because, you know, in your purchase history, you can't see like the full listing anymore after you've purchased it. And obviously, since it's vintage, it was like a one of a kind listing. But when I was a kid, we had this big blow mold pumpkin that was always in my window, a giant blow mold pumpkin that my grandma would bust out for Halloween. Because when I grew up, we lived with my great grandma. And I'd always wanted one for myself as an adult, because I just remember when that orange glow in the front window, it just, for some reason, that orange glow was Halloween to me, and I wanted one. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a giant one like what I had when I was a kid, but I did find, excuse me, I did find a small version. So this little guy, we call him Mr. Blinky. He's apparently, they're called Blinky glow lights. He came in the original packaging and everything. I've replaced the cord with a modern cord, you know, in a modern light fixture, so that we don't end up with like a fire or something. But I absolutely love this little silly blow mold pumpkin. I don't know why, but he kind of looks cheap and crappy, like he's not painted all that great, but that's what I love about him. So he's my favorite out of all my Halloween decorations. He is my favorite decoration. I cannot remember how much I paid for him, but I don't think it was that much. I think it was only like $30 or $40 for this little vintage guy. But if anybody ever sees a vintage listing for a giant one, let me know, because I really want a giant one. And the unfortunate thing about these, and you know, the issue that happened with our old one, my big one from my childhood, was that it was sun bleached. And these blow molds, when you leave them out in the sun, the plastic gets brittle. And it eventually like disintegrated. The plastic itself almost became brittle and fell apart. So finding one that is, you know, not sun bleached and that isn't falling apart has been very challenging.
Should have took some Dayquil, dude.
I should have.
Let me go get you some to take for your recording.
Yes, please. Okay. This is something that I keep buying over and over again. I will buy these forever. As long as this shop exists, I will continue buying this product. It's a great product idea too. It's the only seller that I've ever found that has something like this. It helps me track. It goes in my planner. I'm on, I think, my second or third one. But it is a little jar sticker. The sticker itself is just the jar with the goal. And you put in your little dot stickers. Oh, look, it's like the perfect size. You can fill it in with your little dot stickers. So for me, this is, I'm trying to save a total of, this sounds insane. I'm trying to save a total of $50,000 because eventually Mark and I are going to move out of our teeny tiny house. And our house is so tiny. Our house is like itty bitty. And if we move into a bigger house, even if we move all the furniture from this house into a bigger house, it's going to look empty. So my goal is that anything that needs to be, like when we buy a new house, anything that needs to be like fixed or painted, or, you know, if we need to buy furniture or appliances, my goal is to have $50K saved. That way we don't have to worry about it. If we need to buy, you know, new stuff, we will be able to buy like a refrigerator, or, you know, if the house doesn't have all that stuff. Because when we get rid of this house, we'll probably leave our appliances. So yeah, I've been using these every year, you know, in my journal, because it takes a long time to save that much money. I just buy a new one and then I fill it, you know, I fill it up to wherever I last left off in my last journal. And then once I, you know, fill this one up, then I'll probably buy another one and start using them for, you know, I mean, heck, I might save more than that after a while. Did you just belch?
That was entirely accidental. I'm
gross.
sick. Leave me alone. I'm snorting. It makes me burp.
You're gross. But yeah, I thought that this was a really cool idea. And I knew that I wanted something like this, but this was the only seller I could find that had anything like this. So I always get this green one, but they do come in other colors. It might be good for even like weight loss tracking, or there's all kinds of things. You could do it for kids, there's all kinds of things you could do. You could do it for potty training. It is a small sticker, though. They aren't very big. I'm going to go ahead and take this medicine.
You're totally fine.
You read it.
The cutest thing I ever bought.
This was a gift for my daughter. Hold on a minute. Let me take this pill. Sorry about that. So this was a gift for my daughter. She picked it out. But I bought multiple things from this shop. They also have their own website. This is a weighted plush. It's like an anxiety plushie. that you can lay it on your chest. It's really heavy, but it's this little collie. It's actually pretty big. It's not that small. But my daughter absolutely loves this plush. It's from a shop called Little Softs. They've got their own website too. I usually shop on their website, but I have several items from Little Softs, and they're just so cute. It's a small creator. She does very small batches of everything. She has all kinds of these weighted plushes. She does little backpacks, little plushies and things. I've got a couple of them myself. My daughter has several of them. But yeah, this one here though, out of all of the ones that I bought, I think that this is the cutest one, and it's rainbow and super duper cute. The cheapest item I've ever bought. This I had to actually dig through my Etsy purchase history to figure out. It was kind of a tie between this item and the stickers, but since I had already used the planner stickers as, you know, the thing that I'll buy over and over again, I went to my second best option, which is these teeny tiny little bowls of ramen and dumplings. And I'll admit, I can't remember why I bought these.
Probably for some kind of display for a party, knowing you.
I think that it was when Taylor was into slime.
Probably.
I bought a bunch of charms and random things for her slime, and I think that these were something for her to put into her slime stuff. But yeah, just little bowls of ramen. This is one where I was looking through my purchase history and
why
I saw.
Did I buy this?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even remember. I have no recollection of purchasing teeny tiny bowls of ramen, but super cute. Very affordable if you're in the market for teeny tiny bowls of ramen and dumplings. And what else? What is this?
Probably tofu? Tofu and soy sauce, or tofu and
some bao? Huh, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, strange. Okay, the strangest item I ever bought. This was from, if you go way back on my channel, like to some of the very first videos we ever made, they're absolutely awful. They're so cringeworthy. We didn't even have a microphone. We recorded the audio from our camera, and you can like barely hear us.
the GoPro?
No,
we were still recording with a GoPro.
No, before that, we didn't even own a GoPro yet. We were using mine.
The C120. Logitech C120 webcam.
No, we were using the Nikon, I think, Coolpix L820.
That doesn't record.
Yeah, it does.
Or we can't stream with it, I mean.
No, we didn't stream with it. We were just recording videos. We were doing a series called, like, the weirdest doodads we've ever bought on Etsy. It had a really long, it was a series we did. And Mark and I would try to buy the strangest gifts we could for each other. And, yeah, the videos are all still there. Some of them were copyright infringing products, so it's like we didn't know at the time. We were just dumb. But yeah, so this is the strangest item that I ever bought. Do you remember this?
Yes, the soaps.
Yes, this was a full burger.
I thought somebody sent us this.
No, I picked this out for you. This was and every single individual piece was an individual soap. So there was a tomato soap, a lettuce soap, a cheese soap, a meat soap. It was and we never used it, did we?
No.
Yeah.
It was a gag gift anyway.
Yeah, we never ended up actually using it. But in terms of like and it came just like this, like in the plastic, like.
I vividly remember it.
Yeah. I think that I ended up pitching it after a while because it got really gross. It got like funky, but.
Well, yeah, because it sat like open in the top of our bathroom closet.
Yeah.
Just sitting in there getting all dusty.
Oh, well, it's like, it makes a good gift, but like realistically, how do you use it?
You
like,
can't. It's something that you put on your kitchen counter. I think it's meant to be used as like a hand soap.
Yeah, we didn't end up using it, but funny gift. It was super duper cute.
It was funny.
She has all kinds of stuff. She's got like fried chicken soaps and all kinds of silly foods. So yeah, this is definitely the weirdest thing I ever bought. All right, the first thing I ever bought on Etsy. Now, I did cut out a couple items. This is technically not my very first purchase. My very first purchase was supplies for my business. It was like charms and things. So this was I cut those out because those were supplies. This is the first thing I ever bought for me. And I was surprised this seller is still around. She and I actually did a trade where I sent her one of my keys and she sent me a free item from her shop. And then I bought something as well so that it would all ship together.
Somebody said the vids in the bedroom were so dark. Joke's on you. We're sitting in the exact same place.
No, the weirdest things that we bought on Etsy was up in my office upstairs.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, those were very dark. But this mug, and we still have it. This clay mug, it was from a shop called Pixelbound Studios.
Yeah,
now
it's in that back room back there right now.
is it?
Mm-hmm.
Now she just makes stickers. But I was shocked that she's still around, that her shop is still open.
I could have sworn we got this in the airman's attic at California. I guess I was wrong. Yeah, it's still back there.
Yeah, we have this one and then the blue one with the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them arrived shattered. The handle was shattered off of it.
That.
Yeah, and I glued it back on with Loctite.
We still have that one too. It's still back there.
And that Loctite held. And we purchased this mug. It's been, let's see, this purchase was 12 years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
So this shop is still around. But yeah, it's super cute. Good picture too for it being 12 years ago. Pretty good product photo as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mark, this is your turn, which is good because I need a break.
That's good. And I have a couple that I didn't have the listings for. I didn't have time to get them in, but I did bring some things down.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. The cheapest item I've ever bought on Etsy. Now, this is also probably one of the most useful items I've ever bought. Scrunchies, bro. If you've never used a real silk scrunchie or hair tie, they're so much better than artificial silk hair ties. They don't grip your hair when you pull them out. I don't have a whole lot to say about it, but absolutely 100% recommend these. I love these.
That's not the scrunchie you have in right now.
No, it's not. I actually don't know where it is.
Mark only uses scrunchies.
Yeah, I quit using. Yeah. This is also simultaneously the I paid way too much, but also worth every penny purchase that I made.
We can't even show the
I
full
can't even.
thing.
They don't sell it anymore because they don't.
The one of a kind.
Well, it wasn't one of a kind. They had a couple, but her engagement ring. I replaced her engagement ring last year. Was it last year or the year before?
Last year, but tell the full story about that, because
Yeah, this is one of those things where I'll go back. This was one of those things where I keep saying that Etsy needs to like audit the jewelry part because it took me days, like 12 hours a day searching, going through jewelry before I found somebody who was actually legitimate in making their jewelry. This is an actual handmade by a long family line. It's in Spain, I believe. Came with all the certificates. It came with all the information when they shipped it. It came with all the like where the diamonds were sourced from and everything. Super, super legit. Worth every penny, but also super duper expensive.
I mean, it really, for an engagement ring,
$2,697.
it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's like $7,000 or $7,000, $3,000 after shipping.
Right. But what I wanted because my original engagement ring, he proposed to me with a ring that we bought at Sears for $200 when we were
It was 178.
18. We were 18.
It was $178.
Yeah.
Plus tax.
So we were just kids and it was all he could afford at the time, but he was about to leave for the military and we had to get married quick. Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to go with him. So we just got what we could at the time.
Yep.
And
My hair is all kind of gray.
and I was really sentimental about that ring because it kind of showed like our background, where we came from. Yesterday was actually our 15-year started dating anniversary.
Yes.
But finally, we decided that it was time to upgrade the ring. That way I could take the original ring and put it away because I was so afraid like if something happens to it. And I told him, I just want something because obviously Etsy is such a big part of our lives. I want a handmade ring. I wasn't even set on diamonds. I didn't care how much it costs. I didn't care. I just wanted something that someone put their heart into. Right, love into. I wanted something that wasn't mass produced. And I wanted something that was different. I wanted something that was kind of unusual. And we got married in the fall. So that's what I really like is that he found one that had
fall themed. I did not get gold. However, you don't have it on, do you?
No, it's upstairs because
She doesn't love me.
No, I cleaned up dog poop today because we have a puppy.
Yeah, we have a puppy. And she
So-
likes to poop everywhere but where she's supposed to poop.
So I took it off. It's upstairs on the ring stand by the thing.
And then the cutest thing I ever bought.
I
I bought this. Was it for Christmas? This year? The last Christmas did I give it to you, or was it the year before?
No, it's more recent.
Pretty sure I got it for this last Christmas.
No, you bought it. You bought this for me out of nowhere. It was unprovoked. I sent you a link to it, and I said, "Look, so cute."
Oh yeah. And then I sent her a message back saying, "Oh man, it already sold." Remember,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
pranked you with it, and then it came like 3 months later.
This is an art doll from a seller that I have followed for years.
Ukrainian, right? I
I
believe they're Ukrainian.
think so. They make and you've bought stuff from them before. You bought Taylor's Bee and
Yeah, I bought a smaller, cheaper item to make sure that it was what it was. You know, a lot of stuff on Etsy, it'll look like this, and then you'll receive it, and it's like a Temu item that's half the size. So
Yeah.
I wanted to be sure that this was legit. So I think that's where I thought. I think it was Valentine's Day last year. I got you guys the bee and the moth. And then I got this for, I don't know, it was like in the middle of the year. I can't remember, but she sent it to me and she's like, "This is so cute. I want it." And then I sent her a message back that just said, "Oh, it's already sold. Somebody already bought it." No. And then I gave it to her when it got here.
It was so cute. And this was filling a need in my soul for a little while because I hadn't yet gotten a new puppy. And I think that my brain is like, I don't want a baby. Like my brain, but I think that because I'm hitting my 30s, like this is the age when most women are like, it's my last chance. I need to have a baby. And my brain is still doing that, but I don't want a baby. So my brain is like, puppy, cute puppy. And so he got me this, but now we have a real puppy.
Yes.
So
You can't have a baby.
no, I don't want a baby. No babies.
The strangest item I've ever bought. I've bought a lot of weird stuff on Etsy. As a matter of fact, she has a collection of a lot of very small things that I get that are super weird.
Little figures.
This one's probably the weirdest from Little Grimlings. I've gotten you a couple things from Little Grimlings. This is a Nabloom.
He's so cute.
They're absolutely adorable. I don't really have a lot to go along with this. This is what they look like and this is what they are. And he sits in our bedroom staring at us.
Yeah, we've got
He's in our bathroom now, right?
the bathroom off the bedroom. We have
Yes.
a big windowsill, and anytime Mark gets me one of these, he just finds the weirdest little clay figures.
Little art dolls and little clay figures and yeah.
I've got a whole collection of. I've got a snail, and instead of a shell, it's got a stack of pancakes.
Mm-hmm. It's a pancake snail.
I've got and that's not my only breakfast one. I also have a stingray, and it's just a big pancake. I've got a little potato guy. I've got a bunch of little critters. But
But
yeah,
I feel like this guy just walks around our room at night and eats all the little ants that find their way in, you know?
the little ants. I hope there's no ants in our bedroom.
He's a little bug eater. And that's it that we have on here. However, I have a couple more honorable mentions.
Oh, this is one of my favorites.
I don't know if anybody here watches that 70s show.
We watch it religiously.
We rewatch it once a year usually.
Sometimes twice.
And there was an episode where they were drinking out of these cups, and I think you were drunk.
I don't think so.
And you said,
I want
"Man,
those
I
cups."
really want those cups." So I got on Etsy. I was like, well, maybe because most of the stuff, if you didn't know, most of the stuff in that 70s show, other than stuff that they have to rebrand, is stuff from the 70s that they've bought at like vintage shops or sourced elsewhere.
Well, that 90s show, a lot of I saw sellers on Etsy who said that 90s show contacted them and bought vintage items from their shop.
Yeah. So I was like, well, maybe then Etsy will have a vintage set of cups from the 70s, and these are the same cups. I don't know if they're the ones that were used on the show,
I've got a picture of Topher Grace.
but these are the
Drinking.
identical same cups that they used on the show, and we've managed to. These are the thinnest. Like, you could shatter these with a little too hard of a squeeze. We've managed to not break any yet.
And I know somebody's gonna comment and say lead paint. Yes, I know that
I don't
these.
care. We drink wine out of them, and it's delicious. It makes it tastier.
Every once in a while, if I'm having a glass of wine, this is what I'm very careful.
These didn't use lead paint.
I've had so many people freak out about lead paint with these, but
They're not lead paint.
I'm not licking smiley faces, I swear. But I don't know what it is about little smiley faces. Like, I don't know.
We're going through a 70s thing right now.
I really like smiley faces right now.
And then, also one of the cheapest products that I've ever bought. Also one of the most useful products I've ever bought.
Not the guitar.
Not the guitar, though also one of the most useful things I've ever bought. I don't know if I'll even be able to show these on camera. I've got a ring of them. I don't know if you anybody. Yeah, go ahead and kill that light. You can actually kind of see them already. I don't know if any of you are musicians, but when you're on stage, you kind of got to be able to see what you're doing. Oh, did my UV light die? It's right there.
Hold on. Let me make sure it's not the wiener. That's a wiener. Hold on.
Just give it to me.
There it is.
You're gonna end up putting I don't know if this will work or not.
Duh.
These are fret glow markers that you can charge before going on stage.
Here, you can see up here a lot better.
Yeah. So I have a couple of high-end guitars that do not have glowing fret markers. They use baked clay. They bake clay into the fretboard so it looks cool. But you can get these in all different sizes, colors, and brightnesses. Leave the light off. I use green for my stage guitars, but I also have these like super giant ones that are pink. They're super duper bright pink that are meant for like big acoustic and bass guitars and stuff. Probably the most useful thing I've bought on Etsy. These things are absolutely wonderful. You're good now.
Oh, for the light?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But that's all I've got for now. There's other stuff around the house that I bought on Etsy.
Yeah, there's stuff everywhere that we bought on Etsy. Like
Tons of stuff.
We buy so much. I know. I'm like looking around and like, oh yeah, most of the stuff we bought on Etsy. But I try to shop on Etsy as much as possible. But guys,
I've got about 8 pages of stuff that I bought on Etsy.
Yeah, I've got way more than that.
Well, you bought supplies and stuff too.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you all, to the 163 of you that hung out with us today. I don't know how interesting this stream was. Tomorrow, or I'm sorry, not tomorrow. Right after we're done here, I see my brain is just not working. After we're done here today, I'm going to be recording the video for Tuesday. So we probably won't hang out the full hour and a half that we normally do.
We can hang out till 1.
But if you guys, but we appreciate you. If you guys have any questions, they don't even need to be Etsy related. If you have questions for us, if you have questions about us, you know, we've got a little bit of time to blow. I want to at least stream for an hour. Let's have a little fun. Feel free to ask us anything.
Literally anything that you want. We'll answer just about anything as long as it's within terms of service for YouTube.
Terms of service.
It's got to be TOS friendly.
It can be Etsy related if you want. I might.
Yeah, I don't really particularly care. I just filled this up.
Oh, thank you. I was gonna say I might need you to get me more water though.
I'm not gonna.
Well, if you hand me this, that's the equivalent. I just need some water, and eventually I'm gonna have to go blow my nose. Go to bed.
And if you guys don't get any questions in, I'm just gonna have to cut the stream.
Don't do that. I appreciate you guys. I'm feeling a lot better, believe it or not. It feels good to be here. I know that I sound awful.
We're not actually sick. We're just coming off of the back end of being sick.
Yeah, today, you know, like...
We had some real nasty funk that we caught at a concert.
You know when you're really, really sick and you've got cabin fever and you're like, you want to move around, but every time you do, you feel awful. Today's the first day that I can move around and I actually feel all right. And it feels good to be here because I'm finally doing something. I have been so freaking bored. I have not done anything this week. And HAA students, I'm sorry if you've emailed me. I have not done anything. My brain has not functioned at all. Like, there's no way I would have been able to respond intelligently to anything that you've sent me. So I promise I will be back next week. Which it really sucks because I've been working on Handmade Alpha Academy updates. I'm so excited to roll those out.
All right, favorite movie.
Favorite movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. If it's just one singular movie, Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds is my favorite singular movie to watch. Obviously, if we're, like, marathoning it out, it's going to be, like, Harry Potter or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, favorite movie. That's a hard one to answer. No, it's not Step Brothers. That's definitely up there. Grandma's Boy's up there. Zach and Miri make an adult movie. That
Yeah.
one's up there.
That one's pretty funny.
That one's up there. I don't have any favorite. I would say that like raunchy, like neurodivergent comedy
Yeah.
is probably my way to go. Random comedy. I'll just put a genre out there because it's really hard for me to pick like a singular favorite movie. However, I will say if I had to pick a series, like favorite series based on like best production and like best intent and feeling, Dark Knight series, 100%.
Yeah.
I think it is some of the best movies ever produced.
But we don't watch them that much. Like when it comes
No, because they're action movies. The rewatchability isn't as much there, but we do rewatch them every other year. It's one of only 3 series we have Blu-rays for.
That's true.
Like we do genuinely enjoy it.
Yeah. The second How to Train Your Dragon movie. I don't know what it is about the second movie in particular, but the music gives me chills. The adult concepts, like things that like would probably go over your kids' heads, but as an adult, like it leaves you sobbing. The second How to Train Your Dragon is phenomenal, and I'm actually nervous for how they're gonna do that with the live action when they do the second live action, because it was just such an impactful movie. Definitely one of my favorites.
For sure.
Lorenzo had asked,
we have a ton.
How did you meet? When did you know you were? So Mark messaged me on MySpace because I was selling a keyboard
to pay for her current boyfriend's insulin.
No, he had broke up with me. I was just kissing his butt trying to get him back. So I was trying to pay for his insulin. And we met you and our buddy Nick out at the mall in the mall parking lot. And I did not even glance at you. Like, I barely gave you the time of day.
Oh, I had some words about you.
I know.
Can't say them on stream, though, because I was an 18-year-old goth metalhead boy, and I had words.
So, he and I just, we met on MySpace, and we had some mutual friends, and then we started going to, like, concerts and things. And I think I really started liking him. We went to a concert with, it was me and 3, including him, 3 other male friends. Cause I was like a metalhead chick. So I didn't have very many females who wanted to go to metal shows with me. So we all went as a group. And it was a venue for teenagers, and it was run by a church. Was it run by a church? Was that
it was run by a committee of people that ran a church after school program, but they did have a lot of rules about like cursing and it was run very churchy.
Yeah,
so you couldn't come in unless you were a parent or under 18. It was 18 and under only.
Yeah, it was like a real safe place for teens to go see bands. Yeah. But anyway,
it was a place for teen bands to perform.
Yeah. So we went there, and then afterwards they all decided to go to McDonald's, but I was super duper poor. I had no money, and they were all just eating, and I wasn't because I didn't have money, and he was the only one out of these 3 dudes. And one of the dudes was trying to get with me.
I decided to just have like a $1 menu item so she could also get a $1 menu item and a drink.
Yeah, so he bought me food, and I'm like, out of these 3 dudes, like nobody thought, not that, I don't want to sound like an entitled brat who's like the audacity, but like, they're all going out to eat, and
Nick had a bunch of money.
Yeah.
He had a bunch of money with him. He could have paid for all of us to eat, but he didn't.
Yeah,
he was driving, I believe.
I wasn't going to name drop.
Those other dudes had no skills. They had no game whatsoever.
And one of them was
I wasn't even pushing game. I was actually trying to help the other dude get with her because I was with somebody else at the time.
Yeah. He just no.
Where did you get that dark blue water bottle? It is not dark blue. It is black. It looks dark blue. It is Starbucks.
Yeah.
They are Starbucks cups. These are the only ones I've ever seen at Starbucks and said, I have to have that.
Yeah, these were their holiday cups. They had black, red,
and this like rainbow dragon skin.
Well, their colors
is so cool.
Their colors were supposed to be black, red, and white. Like that was the theme. And I thought, well, these don't look Christmassy, so yeah.
Other than Etsy, where do you guys like to shop?
Ooh, like online or
probably either or.
Where do we like to shop? It used to be Target, but we've been taking a break from Target because, some political stuff. I don't shop a whole lot. I do actually.
I spend most of the money getting spent.
I'm real bad about 3-wick candles from Bath and Body Works and Goose Creek, whichever one has the best sale at the time. Because
we literally always have a candle burning. That is her unnecessary expense.
3-wick candles, normally Bath and Body Works charges like $26 each, but every once in a while Bath and Body Works and Goose Creek, they're just as good. They're like identical. Goose Creek will do sales like right now it's buy 3 get 4 free. And when they have a big sale, I stock up the entire house for like the future season. I'll buy like 20 candles, give a bunch to his mom, and then so that's what I spend any of my like spare money on is candles. I'm an ambience person. If I'm reading, relaxing, if I've just cleaned the house, then I want a candle lit. So, and I love my candles on Etsy. I do have tons of handmade candles. But I try to savor those a little bit. Like those are special occasion candles. Sometimes I just light a candle and frickin' forget about it and leave it lit. You know what I mean?
Oh, I do the same thing. Or sometimes I'll come because I have mine is on like a specialty stand that looks like a tree stump with moss and stuff on it, and I'll light it. But because it's like way over there,
forget about it.
I forget about it, and I'll come down the next day and it'll still be burning, and I'm like, oh no! But the basement smells great.
Right. If I've got a beautiful handmade candle, like that's one that I light for a special occasion. I've got one that I've been saving. His aunt bought me, and it looks like a cake, like a little cupcake in a jar with berries and stuff, and you can tell someone put so much time hand making this candle.
It's like I don't want to burn this.
Well, I'm gonna burn it for my birthday tonight. I've been saving it specifically for my birthday. So yeah.
Places I like to shop. Okay, so in person I've only ever been able to go there once, but Sweetwater, if it's not abundantly clear by the quantity, I have 8 guitars within reach of me right now. There's like 7 back there. I love guitars. Every guitar instills a different feeling, different playability, a different emotion. I have so many different guitars for so many different things. So Sweetwater, it's the coolest place on earth. You can walk in, anything they have in their inventory, if they don't have it out on the floor, you can request a sales agent. They will get the most expensive guitar in the factory and bring it to you to play. Like, it is the coolest place. Other than that, I'm a tech nerd. I don't like supporting Newegg, but sometimes I don't really have a whole lot of a choice. But when I can, Micro Center's the way to go because they treat their customers right. So if you have a Micro Center, they're a Midwest only place. If you have a Micro Center in your area, computers, buy them there. They are so cool about their people.
What do you think about GPSR? It freaking sucks.
I think it is a somewhat decent idea, and like everything else Europe does, terrible execution that steps on everyone's toes without consideration for the masses. It's something that giant corporations aren't going to be affected by at all, and something that little handmade sellers are going to struggle with for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
Whether or not you need to deal with it, I'm not
we don't know yet. We're waiting.
Don't know yet.
We're waiting on more from Etsy, which
doesn't
apparently
really seem like anybody cares. TBH. What did you guys do on your first date? Each other. If you really want to call it our first date, Guitar Center probably is the first real like out of the house date that we did, but we weren't together at the time.
Every time I invited him to
I invited all of my friends because I wasn't trying to get with her.
Every time, yeah, I was trying. I'm like, hey, do you want to go? I knew he was a musician, so I'm like, hey, do you want to go to Guitar Center? And I was like trying to like, and he's like, yeah, let's get the group together. And I'm like, it's like, no, like it just went way over.
It's almost like I was with somebody else at the time.
You told me you were breaking up with her.
At the time, it was kind of like a Kelso thing. I'm gonna break up with her.
Yeah, I got the drift that y'all weren't all that serious.
Well, she moved an hour and a half away from me. So.
I'm a homewrecker. I'm a homewrecker. She's a homewrecker.
It worked out great for both of us.
We've been together 15 years, but she was she's a nice girl too.
She's not a bad. She's a good person.
I'm friends with her.
We were teenagers. It just didn't go the way it should have gone.
Y'all were kids.
Yeah, I was about to say first date, first like 4 or 5 times we were together, it was just us being us.
We were kids, you know.
We were kids.
We were kids.
We weren't kids. We were legally adults.
Yeah.
Let's clarify that, but just barely. Do you miss making and selling the skeleton key jewelry?
Sometimes when I look back at the old photos, I do get nostalgic and I do get sad because they're pretty, but something being pretty isn't a reason to continue doing it.
Nope.
And it's not a reason to sacrifice my mental health. And I've had to really convince myself of that, because a lot of people contact me and they're like, you could start doing it again. You know, they were so, because I'm the only person who made them exactly the way that I do. There are other skeleton key people out there, but mine were very special. They, despite the fact that they were beautiful, I did it for 9 years. I want you to think about something that you used to do when you were 19 years old. Like, think about something you were passionate about when you're 19. Imagine that because of other people's expectations of you, you have to maintain your passion for that thing, even though it's something that you started doing when you were 19. I enjoyed making them. I did not enjoy the stress of making them. And when I had my dad start helping me make them, he was not able to maintain my quality standards. And I realized that this is something that I have built a skill doing. And the reason they're as good as they are is because I've honed this skill over 9 years. I can't train anyone in a way that will give them that skill acquired over 9 years, you know, fast enough to be able to adequately help me. So yeah, you're being called by Elizabethville, Pennsylvania right now. Don't answer it.
It might be real. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'll keep answering questions. But do I miss it? Yes. Am I ever going to do it again? No. Thinking that something is pretty is not a reason to go backwards and continue doing something that I've come to terms with not doing anymore. I'm still very proud of the work that I did. There are still people on Pinterest who pin my work everywhere. My pictures have been stolen and uploaded to a million places because my editing skills were so good. But it's not a reason to return to it. Not to sound like I got a big head, but I was really freaking famous on DeviantArt. Like, DeviantArt was, back when that was really, you know, popular, I was huge on DeviantArt. But like I said, it's not a reason to keep doing it.
Nah. Does Starla go to a saloon to color hair?
Yes, I do. I have a personal stylist now who contacts me.
She's awesome.
Yes, she's amazing. She schedules me in she does what are called lived-in roots, because she knows that I can't be in this. I have work to do. Like, I'm lucky to go and get my hair done at all. But I started seeing her about last summer is when I started seeing her. And she does the lived-in roots so that as my roots come in, I don't have to constantly go and update, because the roots kind of are a natural transition. So I had my hair done, 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
And it still looks really good. But I can't wash this in hot water. Cold
shower.
Yeah. Well, I flip the cold on, but I have to wash this in cold. I can only wash this like once or twice a week. In between, I have to dry shampoo it. I know a lot of people say don't use dry shampoo, but that's how
she literally doesn't have a choice if she wants to maintain it.
Yeah, that's how I maintain this vivid color. It is a labor of love to have color like this.
You guys get sick a lot. Do you have compromised immunities? I don't think we get sick as much as you think we do. However, we probably do get sick more than other people. We do not have compromised immune systems in like a literal sense.
We have a kid in school.
Well, however, you have to consider that like the majority of people, I'm going to assume that like at least 3/4 of you still have normal day-to-day jobs where you're exposed to people and allergens and germs and things. We don't.
We're home.
We also don't. I mean, we cook our own meals, but we order DoorDash more than we cook our own meals because we simply just don't have we as a couple don't have the time to maintain the house and the laundry and the groceries and also do all of the things that are required of us. So we don't get out around people as much. We're doing it more. We've been to 3 raves already this year. So it'll probably
That's why we're sick.
That's why we're sick. It's not because we're sick. It's because we were in a rave with like 400 people in a room the size of our house. Like it was a lot. So to answer your question, no, I just think because we're an internet personality and you only see us once a week to have discussions, if one of those 4 each month were sick. It seems like we're sick a lot, but most people get sick like once every month, once every other month, like a little cold or some sniffles or something like that.
Yeah.
We just don't have as strong of immune systems because we're not exposed to it as much.
We also have a kid in school, like the types of, shows we go to. It's a lot of hippies.
Yeah,
like,
we don't get a little sick. We get like the worst sick that you can get every time we do get sick. So it seems a lot worse than it is. We call it the Wook flu.
Yeah.
If I suck at photography and marketing, can you recommend a good tool to get halfway decent product photography done, like an AI assistant or something along those lines?
I don't really have any suggestions like that, but I think that you can't just say I'm bad at this. Like, and if you know that you're bad at something, work to get better at it. Like, it's not hard to get better at something, don't crutch yourself by trying to find things that help you, because photography is not a hard skill to master. It's just it's like hearing the one important thing that changes everything. Christina Nicole, her YouTube channel, can someone type it in for me? By Christina Nicole with a K. She's an amazing product photography coach. And she teaches you how to take your product photos using your phone, using natural light that you already have, so your window. I am going to always be the coach that pushes you to improve, because it's like, the give a man a fish, teach a man to fish. Once you learn how to take your product photos better, which it doesn't take that much time. I sucked at product photos too. I was big on editing photos, but when it comes to taking like natural photos, I was really bad at it. And I followed Christina Nicole's advice, and now my photos are pretty darn good. They're not perfect, but they're pretty darn good. So I'm always going to be the coach that pushes you to improve your photos. It's the most important thing you can do. Nothing else matters when it comes to your business. Doesn't matter if you have good SEO. If you're going to spend all that time learning things like SEO, why would you not dedicate an extra, even just a week of watching product photography videos? If you're going to put all that time into every other element of your business, put a week into learning product photography. Like I said, it's not that hard. And start with just things you have, start with your cell phone and, just start grabbing random items around the house. That's what I did. I just started taking photos of random items that I had around the house.
You'll get better at it.
It's not that hard, I promise you. You just need a good coach, and Christina Nicole is amazing, and she has tons of free YouTube videos.
If I join HAA, would I be able to email you for help with coming up with keywords?
Yes, but there's a huge SEO portion in the program.
We're not going to do your SEO for you either.
Right, but if you have the ability to email me at any time. But I am going to, again, you just heard how give a man a fish, teach a man to fish. My job is to give you the tools so that you can do this work yourself to further perpetuate your success. Because if I give you the answers all the time, you're not learning self-help skills. And that's what you need in order to be successful in business. But I'm always happy to help, like, kickstart that, you know what I mean? Or give you the tools in order to kickstart that research yourself. Can you hand me the water?
Mm-hmm. When you're sick, do you like to be babied or left alone?
Left alone.
I'm like a cat that wants its belly rubbed. I want you to pay attention to me until I don't want you to pay attention to me, and I'm not going to tell you when it's too late. I'm just going to be grumpy the whole time, but you're going to baby me while I'm grumpy.
I want to be left alone because I will try to do things that I shouldn't be doing, like cleaning the house.
Yep, and I have to get up and tell her to go sit down.
Yep, I push myself way too much when I'm sick.
And I like this one. What would you like to do for your careers if you weren't doing this?
That's hard. Teaching, because I like teaching. I guess that just depends on if I have to, like, go back to school and do everything. If I could just pick something, I think that I would like to do motivational speaking full time, especially with high schoolers. In fact, Mark and I just talked about that. I love working with high school kids. It's my favorite. They're my favorite, like, age group to work with because they're they're so optimistic about their futures and they're so open-minded. You can look at a teenager and, like, immediately know, like, what type of person, they're going to they're going to turn into. So working with high schoolers is my favorite, despite the fact that I started in early childhood. But that's where I found, and I really realized that when I spoke in January at my high school and I worked with that group of kids and we made a YouTube video together. That was my favorite.
So I have two answers to this. I have my current answer, and my, like, if I would have gotten out of the military and you didn't get into doing this, like if I would have continued on my military path, probably would have went the private military sector or something like a 3-letter agency. I actually have a friend of mine who invited me to a job in the CIA because that's kind of like where we streamline from. So
he likes to know everything.
Yeah, and I'm just really good at maintaining a bunch of random information about random stuff. So working in intelligence just worked for me because I remember everything, other than stuff I need to remember, which I don't remember at all. If it were today, I'm way more of a hippie. I absolutely want nothing to do with any sort of military or government contract whatsoever.
Music professionally?
Yeah, I would probably be going full bore into, even if I never made it to like actually being famous, I would probably be a full-time like DJ performer or something in the industry, whether that's light and sound or production, editing, and a lot of different stuff. Anyway. Whoa.
The question after that is kind of the same question. Well, if you weren't Etsy Gurus or HAA, what would you want to do? Yeah.
What are your favorite games that you play? You prefer PC or consoles?
I haven't played anything in a long time. The last thing I played was Valheim with Taylor. My favorite game is Okami. I'm so excited that they're finally working on a sequel after 15 years.
I'm a Final Fantasy guy. I like RPGs. I'm really good at first-person shooters and stuff, but it's not my bread and butter. I just finished Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. One of the best games I've ever played. Absolutely amazing RPG. Favorite games that you play? If it's something that I always go back to, it's a split between Fallout and Skyrim. Always. Every
time I come downstairs, I'm like, "What you doing?" He's like, "Playing Fallout."
Yeah, whatever. If I find a new mod list or something like that, like it.
Or 13 years later, I come downstairs. What are you doing? Playing Skyrim?
I know. Again? I just got a new. I managed to nab one of the 5090s when they came out. First thing I did, I was like, I wonder if modded Fallout will run better, and that's what I'm currently playing right now. Okay, well, we are at 1 o'clock. Are you wanting to go till 1:30 or you want to stop?
I'll answer a couple more.
Okay. These are easy questions.
Yeah, they're fun. These are fun.
I'm working through HA, and I'm just wondering, at the product photography part, should I stop working through the course and work on photos then before continuing? Wondering what best practices.
Photos are really important. So if you feel like your photos aren't great right now, I would definitely take a little break from the main core modules and take the Product Photography Essentials workshop by Christina Nicole, because that's included with your membership. It's free. Because like I said, product photography, it doesn't matter if you have good SEO. If your product photos are bad, nobody's going to click on them. So it doesn't matter if you're ranking on page 1. If you feel like you have a handle on your product photos, you could probably skip it for now and come back to it. Yep. But if you're just starting out, or if you know that this is your weak point, I would definitely take a little break from the core modules and do the Product Photography Essentials, because that is the most important thing that you can do for your business, is your product photos.
What would you use to edit videos with?
What do I, or what would I?
Because what we do use is Premiere Pro.
I use Premiere Pro for everything. It is very complicated, but I edit all of my own content, and that's why my content looks different than anybody else. I have how many people a week do you think email me to offer to edit my videos?
We probably get 2 or 3 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that doesn't include social media.
This last like 6 months has been significantly worse. It's mostly Indian firms that we get messages from.
Editing firms, like,
yeah, like people that do it for a bunch of different people. We get probably 2 or 3 a day.
Have you noticed that like a lot of the YouTubers, they like have big graphics on screen, boom, ba, dude, zoom, ba, like that's
too much. Way too much.
That's the style of, hiring an editor. And I do a little bit of that in my videos, but the reason that I don't hire an editor is I don't want my videos to look like everybody else's. And if I hire the editors that everybody else hires, then my videos are going to look like them. Where I don't know a whole lot about editing. Anything I need to learn how to do, I got to run to YouTube and figure out, like, how do I do this? Like, well, what's this effect called? And because of that, my videos, while I might not necessarily be editing them professionally, they look completely different than everybody else's because it's my personal process. So I'm very proud of how I edit my videos. But Premiere Pro is what I use.
When you change the things you're selling on Etsy, is it
Entirely.
Yeah, is it better to start a new shop or continue using the old one and just revamp and rebrand it?
Continue using the old one. Continue using the old one because you still have a little bit of positive history there, and most new shops get deactivated. So it would be better to just stick with the one that you have rather than risk going through that process all over
One
again.
thing I will say, do not use, like, I know a lot of people will take old listings for other things that used to sell. Don't replace that listing with something else. Like, don't go in and change the photo and change all the other stuff. And because if somebody has that item favorited, they might get upset that they're like, I never favorited this.
Yeah.
So, best childhood birthday gift ever.
Oh, man.
Childhood birthday gift. PS2.
No, that came out on Christmas. Did you get that for your birthday?
Oh, birthday gift. Oh, I don't know.
That was my Christmas gift, was a PS2.
Probably a pair of, like, I was a inline skater, so.
Him. I got with you.
Yeah.
Was that does 18 count as
You
childhood?
turned 18 and that's when we got together, so I guess that counts.
Yeah, you're my favorite birthday gift. I can't really remember a lot of birthday gifts. That's weird. Yeah, I don't remember a lot of birthday gifts that I received. I know that sounds awful. I did have a necklace that I always wore, and it had my name on it, and my name's really hard to find. And that was back before, like, with Etsy, you can get your name on anything. But Starla, when I was a kid, it's like I couldn't find pencils with my names on them. So I did receive a necklace one year from a grandma with my name on it, and I put it on and never took it off. It just stayed on my neck forever. So probably that, but I'm gonna say Mark because you're my favorite.
I have no idea. I don't recall a lot of things from my childhood, so I don't know.
Best concert ever.
That's easy for me. You go ahead.
Best concert. When okay, so the first concert I ever saw was Aaron Carter, but the actual first concert I saw was Green Day, and I was 13 or 14, and we just took my daughter to see our daughter. I say my daughter like she's not yours. We just took our daughter to see Green Day in their most recent tour where they played American Idiot in full, which is the same. I went and saw them on their first American Idiot tour and saw them play American Idiot in full. So it was really special. But when they came out on stage, I caught a picture of Taylor, our daughter. I looked over at her and she was crying her eyes out. And I thought something happened. I thought because she's neurodivergent, I thought maybe the lights and the fire. And I just thought maybe like she was overwhelmed. But no, she was just so excited. Like she started crying because she was so excited, like seeing a band that big. We've taken her to small concerts. Like we've taken her to see Bayside, which is my favorite band. I've got their logo tattooed on my arm, their bird. Bayside's my all-time favorite band. But taking her to see Green Day and seeing her so excited for a band that she's crying, and I got a photo of it, like of her just... That to me is the best concert experience.
I have two answers to this because I am two different people.
Yeah.
Because raves and concerts are not the same thing, even though they are the same thing. They're two completely different experiences.
Yeah, for real.
So favorite concert by far, dream come true show for me was seeing Whitechapel for their self-titled album. I don't know how many of you listen to metal, but when I was a kid, I played a show with Whitechapel way back before they were super famous. It was them and Rose Funeral and like the whole kit and caboodle. And they did an anniversary tour was it the 10-year anniversary of their self-titled album. And they played every single song front to back. It was a dream come true. The floor was covered in blood when we were done. It was a monster of a show, but I'm telling you, it was so fun.
Someone's mom was standing, like, how when a pit's about to form, it just kind of like the crowd disperses.
Everybody kind of backs out and gets ready to beat the crap out of each other.
Someone's mom didn't realize that, and we saw her wander out into the middle of that, and I was like,
we were signaling to her, like, come on, get over here. Get out of the middle. Get out of the middle. And it was, I don't know who listens to Whitechapel here, but it's the last song on their last album. And there's like a 2.5 minute, like, build up into a breakdown. And we're like trying to get her over, like, when this drops, you're going to die. when this drops, you're gonna die. Get out of the crowd.
She disappeared.
She disappeared as soon as that breakdown hit. We did not see her again for the rest. I'm assuming she left because she was in the middle of the pit. I felt so bad for it.
Mom,
Okay.
are you here? My mom is here. Mom, are you still here? Are you still watching?
Yes.
Let me know. Mom, someone said, I love your name, Starla. What's the meaning behind it?
I'm not done with my answer yet, but
go
ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, but my actual favorite show of all time, and I encourage you, if you're not a fan of the beat boot music, go check out the trailer. Lost Lands, by far, absolutely no competition. It's the coolest thing ever. Everybody's super nice. The whole experience is fun. Everyone loves everybody. They've got a trailer out for the 2025, and I think it perfectly shows exactly what Lost Lands Festival is. When you guys are done here, go check it out. Just search Lost Lands, go to their channel. It'll say Lost Lands 2025 trailer. That explains everything that Lost Lands is. It's absolutely wonderful. Anyway, go ahead.
Gail Bardry of Crochet Boyfriend Lore. Yes, that is my mom.
Yes.
Mom, are you still here? Are you still? She might have just popped in for a minute.
Okay. What's your current read, and what book are you most looking forward to reading?
I am currently reading 2 books, and then I'm listening to a graphic audio. Actually, no, I just finished a graphic audio. I am reading, for leisure, Onyx Storm, which I'll admit, even as somebody who, I collect all of the first Fourth Wing books. I collect them in every language. I have all the different covers and sprayed edges. I enjoy Fourth Wing. I'm going to say something kind of controversial, though. I think it's overhyped and overrated, and I don't think that the series is that good. I like it. But for people to compare it to A Court of Thorns and Roses, like when I started, I held off on reading it because I said to myself, I know that this is going to be great. Everyone keeps talking about it. Like, I got through Throne of Glass, the whole series, and I said, I'm going to jump into Fourth Wing after that because I'm super excited for it. And I know it's going to be amazing because of all the hype. And I read it, and I'm like, okay, this was good, but it was actually pretty disappointing. It's not that great. I do like it. I do like it. I wish it was written better. It does not compare to A Court of Thorns and Roses at all in terms of the writing. But I am reading it. So that's what I'm reading right now. I'm reading that one slow because I waited forever for it to come out. And I'm also reading the book by Mel Robbins called Let Them. And it's kind of like a self-help book, and it's how to react to others. Like if something upsets you or if someone upsets you, coming back with it and just saying, like, just let them. Like, it has nothing to do with me. Let them. And then focusing on how you're going to react afterwards. So that's daytime. I read Let Them, and I'll probably finish that in like 2 days. It's a quick read. And then Onyx Storm, I'm reading a little bit slower. And then most excited to read, man, I don't even know what I'm going to do after Onyx Storm, honestly. I'm really excited for Mark to read Throne of Glass. I want to read through it again when he does.
I have so many things on my own that I'm doing that reading isn't a priority for me.
Yeah.
And we are not doing questions with Renee. That's kind of a dead name for our industry.
Unfortunately.
We're trying to avoid that. What are your personal goals for 2025? New house, assuming the market regulates.
New house. Our house is so small. It's ours. We own it. It was his grandma's house. Like, we got a good deal on it. It served its purpose. It is too small to run a business out of. It is too small to have a recording studio in. We need more
because this
room.
Area we record in is my only like personal space. So I don't even have a personal space at the moment.
We have to exclude family members on the holidays, not because we want to, but because we cannot fit the most people we can fit in our house and we are uncomfortable at 15 people, like including
at 15
us.
people, there's literally nowhere to walk.
Right.
Like it's literally shoulder to shoulder at 15 people. 10 is about the comfortable limit, and we have more than that in a holiday.
Well, plus we have some big family members that, when the house is tiny and it's full of like big people, there's just no way for everyone to fit. Our kitchen is so tiny that only one person can be in the kitchen at a time.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Take airborne before you go. Vitamin C has almost no contribution to your immune system whatsoever. That's an unfortunate
Yeah, it's been
truth.
disproven.
However, zinc, so you have to, I don't remember which kind of zinc it is. There's a specific type of zinc that can actually benefit. If you're not sensitive to taking zinc, you can kind of load up zinc about a week before an event and continue taking it through. And then just making sure you're getting all your macro and micronutrients, like just giving your body the best shot. But zinc is the best thing for you if you're trying to prevent getting sick. Do you ever use Photoshop or GIMP for your designs?
No, I use Canva, and I know it's limited. That's when I use iPicky for fine editing. iPicky is free, and I have literally never used Photoshop in my life. Everything that you see that I do and have ever done online has been between Canva and iPicky.
Oh, also fun fact, cholesterol in your food does not translate to cholesterol in your blood. That's a more recent find as well. Is it stupid to sell some digital downloads on my POD shop to get some easy sales, of course, in the same niche?
No. Sure. I mean, it could help your overall customer and marketplace experience score. There's nothing wrong with it as long as it fits your target audience.
Favorite thing to nerd out on?
We just rewatched Helsing, Helsing Ultimate. I watched most of the original Helsing because I love the jazz. I really wish that they would have kept the original ambience.
They bastardized the story, though.
They did. But Helsing went through and rewatched all of the Helsing. It's an anime for those who don't know. Rewatched all of Helsing Ultimate. It is a lot to digest. If you've never watched anime, please don't start with Helsing Ultimate. It's a whole pill to swallow. It's a lot. Favorite thing to nerd out on: Court of Thorns and Roses and the tie to Crescent City. Mark and I, we theorize because we're waiting for the next ACOTAR book to come out. And then if you haven't read Crescent City, after A Court of Thorns and Roses, what are you even doing? Crescent City literally ties direct, like you'll read it and you'll think there's no way that this could tie into A Court of Thorns and Roses. They've got cell phones and stuff. These two stories meld together so perfectly. So after you've gotten through like A Court of Silver Flames, immediately go to the first Crescent City book because yeah.
Okay, if I'm gonna nerd out, let's assume that it's not video games because that's a daily nerd out for me. Food. I nerd out pretty hard on food. I can cook some pretty insanely good food. There's really not a whole lot I can't prepare, and if I can't, it's because I don't have the equipment, not because I lack the ability to do so.
Yeah.
Other than that, aliens. I really, really like alien stuff. I'll just go on like multi-day sprees of just watching documentaries and YouTube videos and different things. I try to avoid the actual conspiracy nuts because there's a lot of straight up goobers out there.
When he was in the military, he was like constantly trying to figure out, like he wasn't.
That was the first thing I did when I got access to anything classified. I was looking for aliens. I mean, that was the first thing. And I can tell you with full confidence, I never found anything. Yeah. And that's not because I'm not allowed to tell you. That's because I never found anything. And I had access to pretty much everything. So.
No, but
yeah,
you know.
But you know. Do you think small businesses? I'm not answering any more questions about GPSR. I don't know. The answer is we don't know. I don't care.
I wish we could answer, but we don't. We have to. What we think isn't, when it comes to legal stuff, it doesn't matter what we think. It's something that we're all stuck with right now, and our only advice right now is yes, turn it off to the EU. But I don't know what the future looks like. So
yeah. Someone said, yes, Final Fantasy 14 fans. I really, really tried with Final Fantasy 14. They're not the same vibe as the single-player Final Fantasies, and I just can't get on with them. I have friends that love them. I probably have 60, 70 hours in Final Fantasy 14. I really did give it the old college try, but it just wasn't for me. Does your daughter share any of your interests? What do you like doing as a whole family? Food.
She's getting into bougie food, but we went to kid raves.
Yep, she's getting into music a little bit.
Yeah, she likes to dress up. She's big on cosplay and stuff like that. So she likes dressing up and dressing silly, and the kid raves were really fun. Yeah,
and just for reference, I think everyone should try a rave at some point in their life. And if you think you're too old for it, I guarantee you the oldest person here isn't even the oldest person that's been at some of the raves that we've been to. Because Lost Lands, there are people in their like late 80s that come out to this thing. And I'm not kidding. They'll come out in like their hippie outfits from the 70s with their sun hats on, sitting in a hammock listening to bass music all day. It's for everybody.
Way too overstimulating.
Graphic audio is addicting. So that people were asking where you got your name from. Your grandma.
My mom's name was supposed to be Starla, but apparently, so my uncle, I'm assuming he had autism. He was very, my grandma did not care for him the way that she should have. We can only assume that he had autism, but
he wasn't diagnosed because she refused to admit that there was anything wrong with him.
Yeah, he didn't have a great quality of life. He ended up passing away. But he had about he was like a 10-year-old, I would say. He was like a 10-year-old, but he was a very big man. He was just, he still liked, cartoons and toys, and he was very childlike, very innocent. But when my mom was born, apparently he saw a commercial on TV with a Colgate toothpaste commercial where the woman's name was Gail, and he just fixated on that name, Gail. This is what my grandma says anyway. I don't know how true it is, but she said that she literally could not get him to stop saying that the baby's name would be Gail. So she wanted to name me Starla, or name her Starla, but ended up naming her Gail. And then she convinced my mom and dad to name me Starla, because my dad wanted to name me Asia Berlin.
Yeah, your mom said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, your mom commented that.
Did she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the story. I don't know how true it is, but that's the story.
Fire Queen said, I stopped after Final Fantasy 11, all those side games. Okay, I'm going to hit you with something real quick. Play 16. If you still play video games, please, for the love of God, play Final Fantasy 16. It's up there with 7. It competes for best story with 7. It's the first one that's made me cry in a modern game in a long time.
When this drops, you're gonna die.
Dude, if you've ever been to a deathcore show, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Man, that poor mom, when she was in the middle of that pit, like when the pit finally closed and she just disappeared, Mark and I looked at each other. We're like, well, she's dead. Like, I don't know.
She's dead. She's gone.
She's got to be gone.
No helping her now.
What do you do? Like, what are you gonna do? I can't get in there and get her.
A lot of people agreeing with you. One person said they preferred the story for Fourth Wing over ACOTAR. They said they read the whole ACOTAR series and really liked it, but really enjoyed Fourth Wing. I haven't read the other two yet.
All of ACOTAR is amazing, but Court of Silver Flames, I know it's like a love-hate, but if you don't understand Nesta's character, then it's easy to miss the point of being so bitter and having internal hatred. And it takes a very specific person to appreciate that story. And I think I'm just one of those people who really appreciated that story.
Yeah.
Plus, Mark is very, very Cassian-esque in his, like, push, no excuses, do better, like, be a better person, grow as a person. So I think that I just connected intimately with that story.
There is only do or do not.
You could cosplay Cassian. I want you to cosplay Cassian.
Cosplay Cassian. Let me lose a little bit of weight first.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm almost 50, but gamer. Think Final Fantasy VII, but they take all the childness and take it out of it. It's like a Lord of the Rings story. Like it's just depressing and brutal from the get-go, and it's intense, and they make you love the characters, and they hit you with spins, and people die. And there's blood. First in the series, but it's cool. Sorry, it's getting into so much video game talk. I think we're pretty much done with questions. Let me get the last little cup here. Have you ever played EverQuest? I think I played EverQuest when I was younger, but not enough that it's vivid enough in my brain.
Ooh, Suzanne, country or state you want to visit if money wasn't a problem?
Country or state we want to visit? I know. We've driven through most of them.
State, I want to go to I want to take the Twilight tour. I want to go stay in the Swan House. It's an Airbnb, and I want to go to all the film locations. That's on my bucket list. So that would be technically it's supposed to be Washington, but they were filmed in Oregon. That's where I would go for state because I've been to most states other than Florida, which I actually have no desire to go to Florida. Country, Mark would like to go to Greece. I would like to go to New Zealand. I want to go to where the Lord of the Rings films were recorded. I would like to see. I just want to see big green rolling hills. I've never seen that. I want to see that.
Yeah, New Zealand's definitely up there for me. Japan is another really big one for me. I want to have like the traditional Japanese experience. I want to hit the arcades. I want to see all the pretty stuff. I want to do the city and the country stuff. Like Japan is honestly probably right up there with Greece for me. But top 10, or if I'm going to do a number 1 for me would be Greece. Just getting a private villa on the beach in the hill, like yeah.
And the thing is with us traveling, because most places like this aren't expensive to travel to, so money isn't even a problem. It's life that's the problem, because we've got a kid in school.
Yeah. We have pets that have to be kenneled, and
if it was just Mark
that have to be taken care of.
Right. If Taylor was graduated, it would be different. We could totally go to these places, but right now it's not realistic. I'll admit I enjoyed my time in Europe. I enjoyed the things that I saw. I had an awful time in Europe though, because I didn't get any sleep. The food, I did not like the food in Latvia. I had a lot of people tell me that the food was the best. I did not care for the food in Latvia.
Way too much salt.
It was so salty. I had a lot of problems eating it. I was biting into things that looked like I had it in my head that I knew what it was, but a lot of the food was just so unfamiliar. And Mark and I are not like, oh, we only eat cheeseburgers and fries. Like
we eat everything. Indian food is a once a week food for us.
We have eaten so many like interesting foods, but I was biting into things expecting sweet and getting like mushrooms. Like I don't know. I did not care for the food in Europe. So I would like to go to a different area of Europe and actually take time to enjoy the food. Because I'm sure that it's probably just the things that I tasted, or maybe it was just Latvia in general because the food was so salty. But I would like to be able to reclaim my European food experience. And that way I can say that I enjoyed it. Now, what I really did love was in Germany, we had the most wonderful gay German flight attendant. He was flamboyant and perfect, and I loved him, and he made us laugh the entire time. And he came up and brought me the most amazing croissant that I'd ever had in my entire life. And it was the highlight of my trip, was this amazingly flamboyant gay flight attendant and his basket of croissants. He made us giggle the entire time. He was like winking. Mom, are you still here? He was like winking at my mom. So funny. But it was hilarious.
Immersive role player term for Final Fantasy 16. It is
too salty.
Yeah, it is it is not turn-based. It is hack and slash. The person who designed the combat system was the same person, I believe, that did the combat for Devil May Cry, so it's very similar, and you only control one character throughout. It's different. It's different than any other Final Fantasy. I genuinely think you'll like it if you liked 7. People saying too salty. I take offense as a Latvian. If you Google about the salt in the food in Latvia, it's a well-known thing that y'all way oversalt your food.
We went to like this really fancy place when we all got there. It was like our group dinner. First of all, I thought I went in the wrong water closet. We don't say that here. We just bathroom. But I went in and went to the bathroom. I was in my stall and I came out and there was a man washing his hands. So my first thought was, I
pooped in the wrong bathroom.
All right. I'm like, oh man, I'm in the wrong bathroom. But it's, that was shocking, but not, cool. Yeah, it was fine. But my mom and I got a lamb shank to share because we had been up for like 30 hours and I had a killer headache and we didn't feel good. But it was, it was festive. Everybody was there eating. We got this lamb shank and the presentation was beautiful. It looked amazing. And we decided we would share this one single lamb shank. I started cutting the meat off the bone and it smelled like a barnyard. The smell that came off of it was like, when you go, like literally when you go into a barn,
like a not clean barn.
Yeah. And we ate it, but it was different. It's not what we're used to. I'm not saying it's bad. but for me, it was not good.
Your mom said sausage with a huntsman's flavor.
Oh,
A hunter's sausage is what that is.
Sausage with a hunter's taste, Mom. Yeah, the breakfast bar in the morning. Lots of vegetables, lots of cauliflower and broccoli on the breakfast bar. Very not something you see here. Here it's like pancakes, sausage, eggs, very hearty, sugars, carbs, bacon, waffles, things like that, fruit sometimes. But it was like veggies and like what we would consider dinner food here. But yeah, there were these little sausage links, and they said sausage with a hunter's taste. And they tasted like cheddar hot dogs.
They're hunter sausages. That's what they are. They're hunter sausages. I think it was just a bad translation.
Yeah, it tasted like here in the U.S. when you get like a cheap cheddar hot dog, like a cheddar like ballpark Frank. That's what it tastes like.
The person who is Latvian said, I have a hard time imagining anyone eating lamb shank here. Chicken, pork, and anything but lamb, ? So
Yeah.
it's even for her, it's a foreign thing. So you ate something weird. Sounds like you had a chef that wanted to be adventurous and didn't know what they were doing. Because lamb, I don't know if anybody here's cooked lamb, but there are right and wrong ways to cook lamb. And if you cook lamb wrong, it's gross.
Yeah.
It's like real bad.
Also, when we went to that market, Mom, like the one that was down, that big like market square, everybody had, first of all, the Soviet scowl is like what I've started calling it, because there's just this weight of these people, the older generations, where you can see the weight of their lives like on their face. There's just this scowl. They all had this scowl. And in the US, especially with like old folks, everyone's very, where we live at least, you still have the Southern hospitality in Ohio. So it's like, hey, sweetie, how you doing? Like everybody is super sweet. Yesterday, I bought a Twilight shirt for my birthday. I bought a Twilight shirt, and the lady who checked out my shirt, she was like 80 years old. And she was like, is this Twilight? I love Twilight. Like, she's sweet as can be. But anyway, that's what we're used to. So the scowls, the heavy scowls, it was very strange.
I mean, Amber even told us that people in Europe aren't like that.
Right. Well, yeah. She was shocked when she came here. But this market square, the food just setting out, like food, like preserved meats just hanging like on hooks, like hanging out, like you could reach out and touch food. That is something that would not fly here.
Because people don't take control of their kids and their little boogery fingers get on everything.
Our hotel had like a door. Like we were up on a high floor, and there was like a door in the bedroom that you could just open, and you would just fall. You could just fall out of it. You just fall. There's nothing. You could not do that here. Hotels
in the United States don't even have openable windows anymore.
Because people will fall out of them.
They'll jump out of them.
Yeah. It was it's like little things, little obscure things where it's like the same, but like
way different.
It's just different enough that you feel like an idiot every time you try to do something that should be easy. My mom and I could not figure out how to turn on the lights in our hotel room. I peed in the dark because we had to go ask somebody how to turn the lights on. And they're like, oh, did you put the key card in the slot? No, we didn't put the key card in the slot. So anyway, guys,
somebody had said the UK food is even worse. That brings me back to a very specific clip of Gordon Ramsay, I think it was, arguing with something else, and they were talking about the food in England, and they I think it was Gordon, and they said yeah, but like 9 out of the 10 the best restaurants in the world are in England, and they're like, yeah, but what ethnicity are there? And they're like, French.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we know European food isn't the best. We get it.
I couldn't believe the food waste in Latvia. My mom said, yeah, they took it was like tables of just food. I'm sure that was just because they were catering for us.
Oh yeah, that was a corporate event. That's a normal thing. But a corporate event. Doesn't mean the country's like that.
They put so much food out, and a lot of that food got thrown away. It was so much food. I think a lot of the people took it home though, Mom. Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of the Printify people took it home.
And Marcia said you guys need to travel more. I don't know if you're European or not, so I'm making an observation here. But the difference for like people in Europe to travel, where you can drive like 5 hours in any direction and be in a different place, you got to remember that like traveling for us, other than going to like Canada or Mexico, which even right now that's its own whole bucket of worms. But traveling to Europe, well, you're looking at like a couple $1,000s just for the plane tickets, plus staying in a place that's unfamiliar to you. The roads are backwards, the signs are backwards, everyone acts backwards.
When you're
Everything is different.
neurodivergent, it's hard.
It's a lot different here. We can't just up and go somewhere else. And going to another country is an effort. We have to cross a whole ocean to do that. It's different.
We've been to most states though. We've passed through them. We've driven.
We passed through like 34. I can't remember the exact amount. We took, when we drove across the country from California to Ohio, one time we took the northern route, one time we took the southern route. So, and most of the stuff in the middle. Yeah.
I'm from South America, but live in Canada. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, I mean, you get it. I mean, traveling is difficult. We've seen most places in the United States.
All right, guys. Well, I have a video to record. Thank you for hanging out. 146 of you still here.
And that's not an updating number.
My mom's here, so that was cool. She hung out. We were texting before, so she knew I was about to stream. But we appreciate you. I love you, Mommy. I'll see you tomorrow. I have a video to record. My voice is obviously starting to feel better. I think I've just talked it out enough, but it's probably gonna be bad.
As soon as you stop talking, you're gonna hack your brains out.
I'm sure. There's very good chocolate in Europe. There is good chocolate in Europe.
Yeah, y'all have way better chocolate than us. Also, though, I did learn the whole argument about like Americans having chemicals in our food. Actually, as it turns out, you guys have just as many chemicals in your food, and some of them are way more dangerous. There are chemicals you guys have that we also don't allow. So that, I don't know where everybody gets this argument from, but yeah, that's something that frequently starts coming up. Please stop generalizing about different countries. That's what we have to do because that's our only understanding of them.
Right. We're speaking from we're not generalizing whole countries. We're speaking from our experiences. That's why I said specifically that I would like to go to Europe to rewrite my perception of the food, because I know that I did not have the best experience, but I know that it doesn't represent.
We want to go to Britain, France, Italy. I'm Italian. Italy is like number one on my list of like have to go tos. Germany, I know you really want to go and see. We want to go and see them, but generalizing is all we have based on our experiences interacting with people from those countries who have told us their experiences with those countries, which we know obviously does not represent the whole. But I mean, don't be offended by generalizations. Everything is a generalization.
Right. Not to mention most of the people, everything that we've said, they're saying, yeah, I'm from there and I agree with that.
And almost everything anyone from Europe has ever said about the U.S. has been greatly exaggerated and a huge generalization. Most people are completely wrong about how things happen here. So grain of salt with everything everybody says about places they're not from.
Right. We're speaking from our experiences. Yeah. Amber Marie, when she came to the U.S., she thought everybody was going to be like morbidly obese, because apparently in Europe, like it's the whole like cheeseburger eating American thing is so, pushed that she thought that everyone here would be huge. And she looked around, she's like, everybody looks the same as they do in the UK. Yeah. So, yeah.
Anyway,
we appreciate you guys. I'm going to go record a video. Next week, we'll have a normal topic, an actual educational topic, but we appreciate those of you who hung out with us.
For sure. Silly stream.
Talked about nothing. But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.